Hi everyone. The banking industry will undergo tremendous change over the next decade or so. And of course, technology will play a big part in bringing about that change. Now, one of the largest banks on the African continent is Nedbank. And I have joining me here today, Paul Morley, one of the executives from Nedbank. Paul, very warm welcome and thanks for joining us here today, giving us some of your time.
Tav, always a pleasure to have a chat to you.
100%. Before I go into specific examples of AI projects that you might have seen in the banking industry, as Paul Morley, what's your secret to delivering to business? Because in the old days, you were delivering web solutions. Now, we've said that data and AI, analytics, it's not a luxury anymore. You have to have it. And people out there will be thinking, well, I need to deliver this, but processes can go wrong. What are two or three things that are fundamental to successfully delivering large projects to business and even for people who may not be in the banking industry?
Well, the first point of the question is, how do I do it? Well, delivering a project today is like delivering a project 20 years ago. The way you do it might have changed. What you've delivered might have changed. The people that you use might have changed. The topic might have changed. But fundamentally, it's the same thing you've been doing for the last 40 years. If you keep to the basics of making sure that your commitments, your planning, your insight, your foresight, and your engagement is correct, I mean, that's the secret. How do you deliver to a customer? Well, you deliver to a customer by engaging with the customer, including the customer, being transparent to the customer, meeting your commitments to the customer. What you deliver is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you're delivering a car, a banking solution, a web front end, a back end system, or an AI model. It is around the engagement, collaboration. And by the way, in this new world, this fourth industrial age, everybody's saying, the most important thing, the key underpinning thing of all of the things that we talk around that disruption supports, the key word is engagement. The key word is hyper-personalization. The key word is collaboration. That is what makes this is the ultimate goal of what this new world is going to deliver us. It's going to make personalization more important. It's going to make engagement even more important. Why? Because of the hyper technology that's been, it's now traveling in real time. Things are instantaneous. So what does that mean? It means the focus on interaction and collaboration and relationship building becomes more and more important now than it ever is, because this is what all this new technology is doing. It's making collaboration easier. It's making engagement easier. It's making engagement travel in real time. We've seen it with work from home. You can work anywhere in the world now. Geographical boundaries are no longer a problem. That means I can employ people in Nedbank that inherently stay in the States. Now I can get worldwide experts that 2 years ago were not willing to come and work for Nedbank because they didn't want to relocate necessarily. Now the world is open. I can get anyone I want. That creates a competitive advantage. That creates a world that exacerbates the skill shortage we have. That creates a world of success can be overnight, but so can failure. Now, for success, with all this hyper-converged real-time stuff, real-time analytics, real-time decisioning, failure can happen in real time as well. So now, the downside of that is now we're getting faster for the good, and we can make money faster, and we can entrench ourselves faster, but now we can also go bankrupt faster. And I think that is where the cautionary lies. And a lot of people don't think about that. Ethics becomes a problem now.
So it sounds like almost a return to the fundamentals because everything's faster.
Of course, yes.
And even though we have fancy AI, we need to go back to the fundamentals.
Become people-orientated again. It is more important now to become more people-orientated and people-focused than ever before.
Right.
Now you can't hide behind the technology. Now it's in real time. You don't have the luxury of belaboring the point. Now it's real time. Engagement now is real time. People expect real time engagement. People expect real time demand.
And people being customers as well.
They expect it.
Yeah.
They're not going to wait a day for you to decide if they're going to give you a credit application approval. They want it now in real time. Right. And that's the difference. You can make or break your business in seconds now. Because I'm not going to wait 8 seconds while you go and do a credit check. Yeah. I want it in 2 seconds, not 8. And God forbid, if you give it to me in 5 minutes, then I've already hit another bank. So and that's the point. Your organization can go under in real time.
What are some good examples of AI projects that you've seen in the banking industry?
Oh, there's many. Besides the atypical ones, like, customer propensity, next best offer, which, by the way, we've been doing for 20 years. I don't know why everybody keeps talking about, we can give you an AI engine for... using AI in an operational back office context, not to make money, but to maintain your business. Not to find customers, not to sell to customers, but to maintain your business.
What are you maintaining? Cost control?
But everything. Maintaining the health of your organization. Remember, the health of your organization is now going to be measured in real time. You're good or bad. You're making a profit or you're making a loss now in real time. And the only way you can effectively manage a modern enterprise, especially in a bank, you can't do it with manpower. You need advanced automation. You need AI to help you and assist you on that. Governance. So when we start seeing the perspective of data growing exponentially by threefold in the next 5 years, minimum, and it's traveling in real time, the only way you're going to govern that data is using proper AI.
That's a scary fact, by the way.
100%. So let me give you some stats here. On today's average, last year, an average human being, every person on this planet, that's young, old, middle-aged, every person on this planet had an average of 1,500 digital interactions. That means a cell phone call, an SMS, a WhatsApp, a push a button, digital interactions that created data. As I've said before, data is an output of a process. So 1,500 on average per day is generated. In the next 2 years, that 1,500 is going to grow to 5,500 interactions. Now, that means we will be doing, hypothetically speaking, 3 times more on digital in the next 3 years. That's exponential, and it's real time. That means it gets from California to Johannesburg in real time.
And the question is, are people ready to process all of it?
No, they're not.
They're not.
The other thing that I see that's going to become a massive pivotal point, we talk about data quality in the data governance sector. Data's bad, get all that. But there's something that the governance misses, and that is called data provenance. With the amount of data being created, the amount and evolution of cyber attacks and cyber crime, it's going to become more important to understand the origin of your data. Data provenance now becomes a pillar of governance. It is no longer data quality that matters. Data quality you can fix. Provenance you cannot.
Provenance similar to lineage, but just at a higher level.
Well, you need to know where it originates. It speaks to the origination of the data. Right. So lineage is fine. We manage lineage in the bank. In the bank, we don't know the lineage where the data comes from necessarily. So managing that lineage to the origin of the data, the process that originated the data, is going to become vitally important. And that has got things with, that's going to prevent things like data poisoning on AI models. You could be training your AI models inside an organization using data that's already been poisoned. So your cyber crime is getting deeper into the life cycle.
This is amazing. I wasn't aware of this. They poison data, so your model ends up being wrong.
So before you've even deployed your model into production, it's compromised.
Wow, okay.
So this is the world we now live in. And data becomes, and how are you going to manage that when it's growing exponentially? How are you going to understand whether, who knows, if I was using a data source in Nedbank and it originated from Kazakhstan, would I want to be using that data? AI is not a use case anymore. And this is the other thing I want to speak about AI. What kills me about AI is people still talk about use cases. Paul, give me a use case. Forget about use cases. Use case limits the capabilities of AI. At some point in the future, the number of use cases that you've got are going to run out. Right. It makes sense, isn't it? Yeah. You're going to run out of use cases. AI fundamentally needs to move from a use case conversation to an enterprise embodiment conversation. It must be talked about like we talk about network, like we talk about disk, like we talk about CPU. It must be commoditized into your organization at the lowest level. We can't. That is where AI success is going to be.
We've done a lot of work with Nedbank in enabling the Azure platform and AI. How do you see the relationship with Nedbank and Microsoft? And any comments on how the cloud journey has worked?
There's always been a deep collaboration with Microsoft going back many years, and I don't think that relationship has changed in any way even today. And the successes we've seen with our relationship in its current form with the cloud, I think is just testament to the long and deep history Nedbank has had with Microsoft. And I think that relationship is going to continue going into the future. And certainly it can only get better as a strategic partner. And certainly, that's the way we see Microsoft as a strategic partner to our business that enables our success.
Paul, I really want to thank you for taking some time from your busy schedule to come out here to Microsoft offices in Joburg. We always get some real gems when I talk to you, and I learned a few things. So Paul, thank you for joining us today. I really enjoyed it.
My pleasure.